camera so I look my best. If you don't see me in my best, adjust your camera and put some lightning and everything. Well, lovely to be here. Thank you very much for joining him here. We have a large class, so that's fantastic because it is an important topic. Please shoot a quick chat or text or whatever you call it, so I know you can see me well. Clayton here is monitoring the chat since I can kind of teach and do that. So as always, he's gracious to help me. So please send me questions, or I'll try my best to do the teaching, and he's going to tell me what question coming in, perhaps choose one that everyone can benefit. And I can see you here on the side saying, hi, Mickey. So hi, everyone. For those of you that didn't see me and just had a phone reading, hi, I wish I can see you back. And for those of me that came to my office, welcome. Okay, so today's kind of important topic and frankly quite fascinating. Every time in a reading, when spirit guides, which are the one that usually talk about our day-to-day life, bring a detail about the client past lives, it's quite fascinating to me. I love that topic, love the subject. And of course, the fascination of the concept of reincarnation. But this specific webinar, I want to talk about how is the past life, how is the concept of us keep coming into planet Earth, how is it affect our future when it's come to this specific journey. So take some notes if you will. If you feel inspired to ask me something, go ahead and shoot the text or whatever you call it, email, chat, if you will. So I'm going to try and fit as much information as I can in the hours. For those of you that know me, I want to kind of get the best utilized information for you to have. So let's touch real quick the concept of past life and reincarnation as it's related to our soul evolution and growth. So reincarnation obviously refer to the concept of our soul keep experience new life in a physical body, or rather the higher self. As I know higher self is a phrase that sometimes people give it different meanings. Over the years when I channel spirits, I understood that a higher self relate to the energy of the soul, a part of the energy of our overall energy of our soul that incarnated into a body in order to experience an incarnation or a lifetime on planet Earth. So over the years, people say, why a little bit we take with us? That's because we're very, very powerful being, and the body would be shortcut, if you will, which is exactly the phrase that Spirit used when they explained to me the concept of the higher self or our soul incarnated into a body, which why we take with us 10%, let's say, a percentage of the energy to incarnate, to experience life within the body on planet Earth, while the rest of the energy of our soul remain in the spirit world. When a life comes to an end, when the higher self or the soul exit the body through the crown chakra, it's merged after certain processes which we go through after that, it merged with the other remaining of our energy of the soul that was remained in the spirit world, and we become whole again. So that's essentially the concept of our higher self or the soul when I refer to it. So reincarnation means that our soul freely. The reason I like to use the word freely, because a lot of people, specifically people that perhaps like myself for many years, mix it with religion in a way that God tell us when to come and God govern the life, and which of course the Creator is very much there, very much aware of our growth as soul, but He is not, repeat, is not involved in our incarnation, meaning no one forced us to come to planet Earth. when to come to planet Earth, when to incarnate, what kind of a life we incarnate into, meaning we are the one that plan every upcoming incarnation alongside our spirit guide and other light being that can help us. Nonetheless, God or no one else really involved. Meaning, if we feel like remaining in the spirit world and not enter planet Earth or enter other planet, of course, there are other planets in which our soul can travel to, dimensional, energetically, energy-based planet or physical planet, other than the planet Earth, which of course, obviously we're not the only planet. Nonetheless, incarnation on planet Earth is the most effective school for our soul, which brings me to the next topic as to what are we doing here? What is the soul is here? Why are we choosing freely to incarnate into that very, very harsh yet effective school-like, if you will? That is because when our soul incarnates into a physical body to experience life on planet Earth resembles the most completely, I didn't know I was I was holding a pen, forgive me. Planet Earth is so different than our home in the spirit world, which is free, which is, it's energetically, it's back home, it's where we were created, where we come from. Planet Earth, because the complexity of the physical body, the mind, the emotion of the physical body, the ego, which is have to do a lot with our growth, it's a very effective school, which why we freely, us, human soul, choose to incarnate into this harsh planet. Now again, why is it? When I use the phrase, because the soul, we do that for growth, what does that mean for growth? As souls, we want to be like God. For those of you that are familiar with my work, you know that I sometimes use that phrase. Obviously, be like the creator, be like the one who created us. I don't mean in an ego way, of course, how can I? I mean that the more we grow spiritually, the more we advance ourselves as souls, the higher we are able to operate, more higher vibrational, if you will, and the more closer we become to the creator. I don't mean necessarily physically, although the more we climb in awareness, the higher we are in the spirit world, meaning spirit world divided into levels, if you will, where there are very dense levels to a very light energetically level, such the angelic kingdom, that are indeed closer to the creator. So as human souls, you know, we are in a constant need, if you will, to grow, to be more like God, to become closer to Him, to express more of Him. Obviously, even if we take the example of planet Earth, that there are human beings with all kind of spiritual awareness, some are not spiritual, some are more spiritual than others. The ones that are more spiritual are indeed closer to God. What does that mean? It means that they are able to express more of who He is. For example, able to forgive more, able to be less angry, able to overcome weaknesses, you know, more effectively, rise above weaknesses, if you will, able to be healers on planet Earth, teacher, help other human beings. So in the same way that we can grow here, there are many levels of spiritual awareness on planet Earth, also in the spirit world. So every incarnation that we arrive into planet Earth, the soul, our soul, hope to accumulate enough experiences to exit the life in a higher level, if you will. So if we enter an incarnation level 2, let's just say, example, then obviously our soul hoping that at the end of the incarnation, through all the experiences, good, bad, ugly, difficult, difficult, easy, then we will exit that incarnation more spiritually aware, less weaknesses, more of the creator closer to him, we were able to express more of him out into this world. So essentially, what I'm trying to explain here is the concept of the reincarnation, why we keep coming back. A lot of people, rightfully so, including me over the years, when life is so difficult, when crisis can just hit you, and this is a harsh planet, difficult. They tell me there is no way that my soul chose the life that I now live. Yes, there is a way. We choose the life we now live with difficulties, because without difficulties, without challenges, without weaknesses of the mind, without weaknesses of the body, then there is no growth for the soul. Then incarnation is useless from a soul perspective, not a mind perspective. Obviously, if you have a very difficult life, which we all do at times, then of course it doesn't make sense as to why we're really going to come to that planet. But spiritual teaching is not about the perspective of the mind. You didn't join the webinar to listen to the perspective of the mind, because then what's new? Of course, we don't want any difficult life. And the common sense would be that we wouldn't freely choose to incarnate into this harsh planet. But we're not talking about the mind. We're talking about the soul. Our soul is fearless. We are spark of God, the creator. That's who created us. We are fearless. We're not afraid of illnesses or planet Earth. There is no fear to our soul. We are neutral. The soul freely knows that this is only a school. We come here for whatever years we designed to be here, for whatever major experiences with major other role players / soulmates, meaning the significant other in an incarnation, the family unit that we chose to incarnate into, significant friends, significant people. So from the perspective of the soul, planet Earth is fantastic. It's like, once again, as I often refer to it, as a school. So the reason I'm telling you is to look at it from the perspective of the soul, is that you cannot involve the mind here, because then it wouldn't make sense. My teaching, any spiritual teaching for that matter, or any concept of reincarnation as well as past life wouldn't make sense, of course, because your mind would let you to believe that's one big nonsense. Where of course it's not. So we establish here that our soul is the one that freely chooses to incarnate into this planet in order to accumulate more wisdom, in order to grow in awareness, so that at the end of the life, when we exit the body, we are a little bit more on a higher level. And that's how we continue to grow as souls. The more evolved a soul is, the more it's able to express more of God into this world, other planet, and the more wisdom, the more spiritual power a soul have, until like ascended masters, for example, Jesus, let's take, which is was a very, very wise guide, so our spirit guide, for example, those are very, very wise beings, which I'm always honored to channel people's spirit guides, as well as my own, of course, because those are human souls that reincarnated into planet Earth for hundreds of thousands of lifetimes, and they accumulated enough wisdom and spiritual power to be able to rise above to a title of a teacher. They do not need to come to planet Earth anymore. Of course, as souls, we energy being, so the need to grow, the need to be more with God, closer to him, never end. Eventually we would come to a point where planet Earth would not contribute to our growth, so we would learn from the spirit world, we would become teacher to people on planet Earth. Again, there are other dimensions, there are other planets that we would go, but it take a long time.
I'll ask you to slow it a little bit. There's a few questions whenever you're ready.
You see, when I get excited and I want you to get all the information in 1 hour, forgive me. So I will slow it. Thank you actually for the remark, because once I start talking, I go insane because I truly love spiritual teaching so much. So I'll slow it down. Thank you. Um, so again, planet Earth is only one of the planets in which we grow. So eventually we would not need to incarnate into planet Earth anymore. However, we will always continue to grow. It's who we are as human souls. There is no stop growing because we yearn to be like God, as I mentioned. A lot of people ask me if, people come to me and they said, I'm telling you, Mickey, this is my last life. and I tell them, I'm sorry to tell you, it's probably not your last life on planet Earth, nor is my last life on planet Earth, meaning that it takes a long, long time for us to not need to incarnate into planet Earth anymore and use it effectively as school. So that's in a nutshell. Excuse me, guys, let me just drink real quick. I ate popcorn before the webinar. So that's in a nutshell the concept of reincarnation. Shoot me a text or a chat there if there's something you need clarification up until now. So how do we plan an incarnation, which essentially has to do with the information I'm going to provide you about future in our current life. At the end of each life, we go through various processes they call after death processes. And one of the processes that us human souls go through at the end of the life, once the higher self or the soul exit the body, called the life review. And in the life review, alongside our spirit guide, we review what went wrong, how much influence the ego, meaning the negative mind, had on head on us, how much influence it's had on us, how much the ego, which is very significant to the ego, the negative part of our mind is very significant to the success of the incarnation. Essentially, the ego is there to reflect to us what it is we need to overcome, the weaknesses, what it is we need to rise above. So in a life review process after that, we go to how successful was the incarnation? Were we able to express love into the world? Were the soul able to rise above certain weaknesses, specifically weaknesses that were not overcome in previous lifetimes? Meaning that when we plan an upcoming incarnation alongside our spirit guide, we include very carefully all the weaknesses that we were unable to overcome for previous lifetimes, included in a current life or upcoming life. What does that mean? Let's say that people enter planet Earth with a weakness of rage or anger or race or racism or judgmental. So those are weaknesses that stand on the way of the growth of the soul. Meaning, remember when I talk about that all we want is to overcome weaknesses in order to grow spiritually. If we incarnate into planet Earth lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and we are unable to overcome anger, we are aware of anger, we ignore it, we don't take the necessary responsibility, work, therapy, the soul at the end of the lifetime is someone stuck. Because it can be obviously many weaknesses, usually is few, is not just one, but the soul is stuck, unable to kind of continue to move forward, further up, because with anger, naturally, that's not super spiritual, and God does not express anger. He doesn't have anger in him. So, so for us, not us, Mickey, us, the soul, be closer to God, express more of God. I cannot be an angry human being. So every lifetime we incarnate planet Earth with all the weaknesses that we bring from previous lifetime in order to rise above them. So how does that relate to your current life? You need to watch your weaknesses. you, especially the one that keep repeating, you need to review your weaknesses as a very, very important thing to rise above. Not because if you go to therapy, a therapist will tell you that's bad to be an angry person. Of course, it's bad to be an angry person, but that's planet Earth explanation. If you have a problem with anger, addiction, if you have a problem with judgmental, envy, again, all those major obstacles of growth for your soul, and it keep rising up, meaning you had it when you're 20, and you have it when you're 30, and when you have it when you're 40, and it's keep rising up, as well as creating circumstances of anger, meaning that your life doesn't go fluently because of anger, which is just an example that I choose as the anger. Then you need to know that this is something that you brought from previous life. It is your responsibilities this life for your soul. What does that mean? It's Mickey, if Mickey bring weakness from previous life, which we all do, obviously, which while we all have one weakness or another, as long as we still incarnating into this planet, there are weaknesses. Otherwise, we will be our spirit guide or ascended master or the high level of spirits that don't need to come here anymore. So if we here, we have a weakness. So observe your weaknesses. Look at it from a spiritual perspective. Why do you need to work on your weaknesses? Because that's why we're here. Your soul count on you, the personality, to overcome it. When we plan an upcoming incarnation, let me know if I still talk too fast / too much. So just let me know. I'll slow it even a little bit more. So when we plan an incarnation and we bring all the weaknesses from previous life, the soul also is very aware as to the personality it chooses in each lifetime. Obviously, Mickey, a female born in Israel, came to the US. I was a businesswoman, then I'm a medium, all the major life events. Obviously, we're not talking about going to, shop in Walmart. I'm talking about the big event with the significant soulmates in our life are indeed planned by the soul. And the soul, before planning a new incarnation or a lifetime, is aware, we are fully aware, weaknesses that we are unable to overcome, and it would choose a personality that would give a better chance to overcome those weaknesses. So, for example, if a soul realizes that the need for external soothing, which is essentially addiction, whatever it is, smoking, sex, food, if a soul realizes that planet Earth, temptation is something that provokes the addiction and it's just unable to rise above it, then the next incarnation, the soul would plan a specific personality that would give it the best chance, or form, not just personality, form, meaning a female or a male, or life circumstances that would give the best chance to finally break that weakness and rise above it so the soul can continue on. So as you can see, in an incarnation, everything is planned by our wise soul alongside our spirit guide. I say that because my guide is like, make sure you mention us. So I have to say us and the spirit guide. So we do plan everything. There is a reason why you are who you are, with your strength, with your weaknesses. Everything is planned by your soul. You didn't just happen. Astrology map, which is kind of give us the good part of us and the weakness part of us. Astrology map, that has to do with the precise time of a soul enter planet Earth. So, which of course, designed by the soul, we precisely know when we're going to enter planet Earth, when we're going to exit planet Earth. For those of you that know my teaching, you know that I always want to make sure that there are real accidents, meaning if we are foolish, if we are reckless, despite the lots of protection that we have from our team, from spirits, We will die and can die prematurely. There's also suicide where people freely choose to leave planet Earth, but for the most part, most time, it is the soul that choose when to enter an incarnation to the precise moment and to when to exit it. So the point is that who you are today is designed carefully by your soul, your weaknesses, your strength. So use your strength to overcome your weaknesses. That doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. Of course not. We also have a lot of spirits around us that help us. The beautiful concept about all the spirits, as I call it in my teaching, and I wrote a book for those of you that don't know about the concept of the team, which is a group of spirit that accompany us, that our team in spirit, our spirit guide and angels, sometimes our departed loved one accompany us. They know what we're supposed to overcome. They know what we're supposed to accomplish each lifetime. So they help us. So the point is that whether you feel alone or lonely, whether you feel that your need for external, soothing, anger, any weaknesses within your personality, whether you might feel that no, it's too hard for me. No matter what I do, I'm unable to overcome it. You can overcome it and you have to overcome it. You will get the help from spirits. You obviously have to be proactive about changing it. But that's what I mean when I said the future. You can have a heaven on earth kind of a life, this incarnation, as long as you are aware that the things that are difficult in your life, whether it is within yourself, I call it weaknesses, or external challenges, are all there for one reason and one reason only: to bring up to the surface what your soul want to bring up to your attention in order for you to help it overcome it. Everything serves that purpose in an incarnation. Our souls, although very much appreciated planet Earth for what it is, meaning an effective school for growth, the soul don't enter planet Earth because we have a beautiful ocean and a nice weather and we can go to a vacation. We can stay in the spirit world and create that for ourselves energetically, or actually go to a quite more pleasant environments or dimension. We come here for growth. So the concept of a reincarnation, so you know you are in this life, you know you are here in order to essentially help your soul or your higher self within the body detect or be aware of all the weaknesses, all the challenges, and be creative enough to understand that you brought it from previous lifetime in order to you to do whatever it is you need to do, kind of war, you in a good spiritual way, obviously, like full force, you fight your weaknesses in order to rise above them. So when you cross over, you are proud, you as a souls. I'll tell you that over the years, look at my clock, I'll tell you over the years, there is nothing more disappointing for us human souls is to cross over and realize we didn't do much, because it takes us so long to plan an incarnation. It's a very detail-oriented process. As I said, we make sure that we are in an agreement with other soulmates, our parents, who are going to be our kids, who are going to be significant people in when we are kids and 10 and 20 and 30. I mean, everything, it's called blueprint, which is the detail of the life. Everything, it takes a long, long time. I asked once a soul how long it takes to plan an incarnation. Obviously, the spirit world is timeless, but I got something like in 60 years. 60, we would translate, if we were able to translate time in the spirit world, because sometimes people think their loved one, they lost a child, unfortunately, and if the mom is pregnant, oh, maybe my child is back. it doesn't happen like that. It takes us a long, long time. Remember, though, that the spirit world is timeless, so you cannot be fixated on the time. However, it does take us a long time because we are very, very careful as to the planning of the reincarnation as it's related to our previous lives. Very detail-oriented, all in order to once again serve the soul growth. So why is it important to understand that? Because at least for me, once I look at my life from the perspective of my soul, then it did change my life. Obviously, I don't like challenges and difficult days, and I experience the harshness of this planet like everyone else. But when you look uh, um, of your life from the perspective of your soul, meaning you look for the challenges, you look what you need to fix, you become aligned with your higher self, which is a spiritual concept that is a core spiritual concept. You hear it from other teachers, not just Mickey Jacobs, that our job each incarnation, spiritually or purpose, if you will, is to align ourselves with the higher self. What does that mean? It means that once we get it, we get the concept of incarnation, we are aware of our weaknesses, we are aware or detect or are able to understand what do we need to help our soul to have a successful incarnation, which obviously wouldn't be just money, obviously, because money we leave here when we go home. How is that help us get closer to God? Now, it's nice to have it, as our spirit guides often tell us. Sure, you can pray for money, ask for money, but I'm just giving you the example of money, that's not the concept of reincarnation, meaning at the end of the life, when soul come through readings, they don't tell me, Mickey, I have $1 million in the bank. Actually, they always talk about how much we contribute, how much love how much more of God we were able to reflect out to this world, how much of growth we were able to accomplish, meaning how many weaknesses we were able to conquer one specific incarnation. Honey, you wanna choose?
There's a whole bunch of questions.
I know. Hold on, guys. See, I'm panicky. I'm looking at the time and you and Clayton.
Go one back.
Perhaps choose one that, like few that can benefit everyone, honey. I can fix my hair.
How come we don't remember our past lives or life in the spirit world?
Very lovely. And who was it? Do you know who?
This is Sharon.
Oh, Sharon, thank you. So to repeat it out loud, excellent question. Thank you. How come we don't remember our past lives or the spirit world? Because we're arrogant species. If our soul would incarnate it into planet Earth and we know we had a past lives and what we're supposed to learn and we know this is not our world, we're just here, there is no death, it's only here, then there is no growth. The whole point about the concept of effective school is that we do share and have a spiritual amnesia, as I call it, the moment the soul start to experience life on planet Earth, meaning in birth time. So we're not supposed to learn. That's why even in reading, very, very rarely, other than fun facts, sometimes for those of you who had readings with me, sometimes spirit guides give me fun facts. If there were a girl before or a boy before, or but the spirits are very, very careful as to what revealed to me as a medium, or to us really, because we are all mediums essentially, of course, is very carefully, because we're supposed to discover it ourselves. The discovery that the spirit world exists while we are here, obviously, that's called an enlightenment. We found the light within us. That's part of the growth. That means that at the end of the life, if a person die and cross over, the soul say, wow, I really used that incarnation to figure out that's just a school. I'm not going to attach too much to that. I know at the end of the life there is no death. I know that I'm going to go back home. I know I'll see my loved one, on and on. So I hope that explains as to why to sum it up, we're not meant to remember everything, and most of us don't. I didn't for many years until I was open to the concept. The more open to the concept you are, the more they kind of drip information, and the more you are able to obviously know where we come from. Anything?
John asks, there's a whole bunch. John asks, how does one express the Creator in one's life in this incarnation?
Oh. Ah. So I don't know if you read it, but John asked how we can express the Creator. John, the Creator, that force, not the one that I thought when I grew up as a religious person in Judaism. I thought God is a male figure with a beard and a cane that would punish me if I don't follow his rules, which is essentially what religion can do if you're too rigid about religion. God, force, beautiful, only capable of positivity. There is no negative in God, which why religion don't make sense. How can he punish? How can he love Jewish more than Christians? How can he direct or instruct someone to kill on the name of God? Absurd, ridiculous, of course. He cannot technically express nothing but positive because he is past, or I know there's a word in English, he, how you say it, like past level of negativity. It's not in his DNA. Huh? No, God is unable to express negativity anymore. It's like going backward, and energy don't go backward, go forward. So it's like if you spiritual person, to steal, to be unkind, to kill, it's out of your DNA, vocabulary, because you passed it. So God express only positive. When we express who he is, we grow, we become closer to him. We express more out of him. So when to say specifically how, John, you think positive, express positive, live your life in positivity, love, base your life of life, you become him. Obviously, in a very, very, very tiny and insignificant percentage, obviously, but we become him. The more forgiveness, look at forgiveness. God does not forgive. He does not hate. He does not love one group and not the other. He has programs, meaning if someone is not good, there is a karma, meaning we have to pay back, but he cannot be negative. And what as a soul we need to do or aim to do or want to do every incarnation using planet Earth and the body and the physical realm of planet Earth is to be more like God. So what you do in your day-to-day life, you go about and you say, is really my Creator would act the way I act? Every day, every moment, every decision, every reaction, thought, interaction, you think, how would God would be, essentially. If unforgiveness is your weakness, then you're not expressing much of his character, if you will. So rise above it so you can kind of become more with him or closer to him. So I hope I answered that to you, John.
Okay, there's Pamela has one that says, why haven't I learned my mistakes of a previous life instead keep making the mistakes and not learning from them? And Mark has, how do you heal in the now from things that are related to past life trauma?
Oh, thank you,
so
Mark.
There's like two.
That's right. So let me answer Pamela first. She said, why was I, well, it wasn't you, Pamela, but why the personalities that your soul chose to incarnate into were not able to overcome weaknesses? Because it's hard, because it's a great school, because there's a temptation and the fragileness of the mind and life go up and down. You up and you think everything's great, and then there is down. Not because God punish you, because it's a potential growth. So beside Pamela, it's designed. It is hard. Otherwise, we'll come to one reincarnation and we grow the mistake and it's finished. To become more like God, to be close to him, it's like we, his babies, children, and we want to grow and be and have him be proud of us or be more like him, not in a religion way, in an energy way, in expressing more of who he is. That's what we yearn for. That's not easy. That's difficult. So planet Earth, again, don't forget why I keep repeating, is one of the many, many places that we incarnate. In between lives, we do a lot of work to continue to grow. Planet Earth is just one place. We go to other planets, to everything serve the concept of the soul growth. So as to why we cannot do it, because it is difficult. Look how difficult, look how many mistakes we're repeating again and again and again. It is difficult to rise up in level, to rise up in awareness. That's why I use the example that people come to me and they said, it's my last life. No, it's not our last life. It takes a long, hard work to be able to utilize all of planet Earth, the mind and the body, that's why we incarnated with so many forms, female, male, white, black, poor, rich, healthy, sick. The souls, our souls, very creative, how to bring the weaknesses to the surface, how to utilize planet Earth. So so essentially that's why it's so hard, because it is a hard process. It takes time to climb up to be more like God. For us as souls to grow, it takes many, many, many reincarnation and past lives. As to Mark, all your gifts, Mark, are what you were able to overcome last lives. It's Mark Mobley, especially you, Mark. Are you kidding me? What a beloved, delightful human being you are. So you are a healer on planet Earth. You are a teacher, and that's how you got who you are today. You didn't just happen to be helpful to human beings and compassionate on who you are. Those are your gifts from previous lives. Remember, if I said a few minutes ago, we don't just enter with harsh, 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 nor do I want you to finish the webinar with a headache. Oh, it's harsh and my weaknesses. No, we have gifts. We are rewarded by where we are. If our life is happy, if we're able to help other human beings, those are the healing, those are the gifts that you accumulate from previous lives. So what you need to do with those positive gifts, if you will, or positive trait, is to express them more and more and more, because you earn them. God don't give Clayton one positive and Mickey don't. We earn them separately, life after life, hard and difficult work. So enjoy your positive trait. I enjoy who I am, and the one I don't enjoy, I face full force to overcome it. So I don't have to repeat it next life. So my soul is happy the day that I go home. So that's why we are here. Now, a lot of people don't care what's going to happen. They don't. They're honest. They say, I don't care what's going to happen. Then it's not very spiritual, because you have to understand why you are here. And we are not here to have a really fancy job title in our business card. We're here to grow and to become more like God, if you will, to express more to this world. So your gift, especially you, Mark, is because you were able to overcome the weaknesses. It is your reward. You earn it, embrace it, use it, use your positive trait, use the thing you overcome, especially if in this life. Let's say you know that in your 20s you were racist, still didn't like people of other color, but now you've changed, authentically changed. Not say you change, because you need to make sure you're authentic to yourself, obviously. If you know you change fully and completely, embrace it, celebrate, go to the top mountain and shout, hey, soul, I help you achieve it. So that is the future that you create for yourself. So again, slow down your energy from the hustle and bustle of life and this and money. Review what you accomplish. Review what you need to work on. Spirituality is about focusing. That's why you got to meditate every morning. What do you think meditation does? What do you think I do every day? I think, How was I the previous day? Do I owe anyone an apology? Did I do good? Do I have to take responsibility? So I hope that I'll answer your question. But our gifts, our reward, we earned it. Enjoy it and go back to the one that you still have to work on. Maybe one more question, honey, and then I'll keep the teaching a little bit.
Jojo asks, how many times do we go through, and is it ongoing, or is there a time when it ends for good? And also, is deja vu something we really have experienced? So a two-parter.
Thank you, Jojo. It would be nice to see you one day. I know you're a great supporter of my work. I appreciate it. Actually, let me start with the deja vu. And see, that's why I like live event, because I would never think about bringing everything as it is. I talk and talk too fast. Deja vu is memory of previous lives. Absolutely. I'm happy you brought it up. And that's part of the fun stuff about previous lives. So pay attention when you go to maybe a foreign country. I have a lot of people come to me and they say they walk around Italy and they're like, I've been here. And the husband say no, and the wife say yes. So the point is that, deja vu are memories of previous life that kind of bring up to the surface. Obviously, due to our mind or lack of knowledge or whatever, we discount it. But do pay attention to deja vu, that to have that knowingness within you. Sometimes it's people, obviously, when you look and you say, oh my God, do I know you before? Do I know you before? I know that I actually had that with Clayton when I did met him in the dog park 20 years ago, I don't know, because he was familiar to me. Obviously, back then I'm thinking, I'm just going on a date, not recognizing the lovely ride we're going to have. Nonetheless, he was familiar. So do pay attention to deja vu. That absolutely has to do with previous lives. And your spirit guide are very much governed by the deja vu that come across, because there are strict rules. What's the second part? I'm sorry, honey. For Jojo?
I'm sorry. Oh, it was, let's see here.
I'm sorry, Jojo, I forgot.
How many lives do we go through?
Yeah.
Is it ongoing, or is there a time when it ends for good?
That's right. So how many lives do we have? Lots and lots and lots and lots, and thousand. Some souls are a bit more lazy. Lazy than other, in a good, fun, playful way. In a way that some us human soul, kind of need a real R&R after an incarnation, specifically if it was a difficult incarnation, difficult passing, abrupt passing, certainly a suicide, murder, if the passing was due to karma, which in a nutshell, karma is we have to balance the act, negative act, of course, in order for the soul to continue to grow. So if a person kill a person, they will have to be killed, either the same life or a upcoming incarnation. Otherwise, in the same way that weaknesses stand in the soul growth, so is karma. Because what's happened with a negative act, not only murder, I mean, this is just an extreme example. Any negative, if someone steal an apple, or thief, it's create negative energy in the soul energy field. And again, it doesn't allow it to become closer to God, because it doesn't go hand in hand. So it's need to be paid back to the universe, if you will. In a nutshell, I can do a specific webinar about karma, because I can go on and on. The point is that it takes many incarnations to be able to get it right, to be able to utilize, think about it, to utilize all planet Earth. Look at your day, every day that you go through. If you really look at it from a perspective of soul growth, even if you stay home, you don't work, you stay home, you know, if you stay home mom, look how much you can learn from being a mom, from the kids. If you go to work, the introduction, the interaction with, there is unlimited amount of opportunity for the soul to use planet Earth as well as the body and the mind for growth. So it takes a long, long, long time to be able to not need, meaning the soul say, planet Earth doesn't contribute to my growth anymore, a long time. So you here with Mickey for the long ride, Jojo. So, okay, so I have, let me keep moving a little bit, and I'm going to leave a few more minutes. And if you can maybe choose maybe a couple of questions towards the end, and I'm going to start talking. So to sum it up, the concept of reincarnation as to what we're doing here, the previous life, the information that the soul brings from previous life to the current life, has to do with the life that you now live. Meaning that, again, if you first and foremost must be open to the concept. It's in the same way that I do live event. The first thing I tell people, you cannot be close to my teaching. In the same way, you cannot come to a reading and be close to the concept. Obviously, you want to stay nice and open. So look at your life right now, the good, the bad, the ugly, as a way for you to serve your soul growth. And that has to do, now a lot of people say, but it's kind of selfish. I'm only really serving myself. No, because if you serve your soul growth, naturally you will express more of God into this world, which essentially, in an indirect way, when you align yourself with your soul, when you work hard on your life weaknesses, when you use your gift as graciously Mark brought forward, then you do serve humanity as well. You do serve this planet as well, because it's work both ends. At the other hand, if you just go through life, through the stream of life, barely surviving, I don't mean money necessarily, I mean spiritual growth, don't quite believe, yes, no, and here you are 50 and 60 and life go by. How can you possibly express more of God? I suppose you can go to a Sunday church and listen to people, but it's got to be authentic. It's got to be practice, the serving of God. Essentially, it's what the religions say. Perhaps they have more rules when this is very, very simple. So again, you go about your day and you build your future as to how you want to utilize this incarnation for the one purpose, and the one purpose only while you're here is for the soul, for your soul to leave planet Earth more spiritually aware. And why is it? To express more of the Creator within you. We already have His DNA. We already have we are His spark. We just have to express it more. And what usually happens, because change is hard, with what we were telling Pamela, how difficult it is, it's hard to change. And for the most part, we a spiritually lazy species. I mean, how easy it is to just not change, not meditate, not change, not do. I mean, how easy it is. It's hard to change. It's hard to climb up. It's easy to spiral down mentally, physically, emotionally. Very difficult to spiral back up. Need work and dedication. So most people don't. And, that's why it takes so many incarnations, because at the end of the life, the soul is like, what's happened? So plan another life, and again and again. So essentially, when I said previous life, past life, and your future, that the lovely thing about it is the future is in our hand. That's nice that God is not involved, or else we machines, really. He is not involved. Watch over all of us, love all of us, cannot love one and not the other. Impossible. How can he? It's like mixing oil and vinegar. It's not with who he is. That energy is incapable of negativity. So you do create your future. You look at challenges. What do I learn from them? Easy to do? No. Not easy to do, difficult to do, of course, but it is hard. Look what we're trying to do. We're trying to use that planet in order to be more like him, be more like him or other light being. Look at the angels. Look at the light being angels. Beautiful, very much real, fantastic. Right there in the higher vibrational of the dimension of the spirit world. So, I mean, again, why do you think when someone is loving and they're well loved and people say, wow, they're like an angel? Yeah, because when we grow spiritually, when we express more like a God, we are like angels that very much hand in hand with him. I mean, close, certainly closer to him than us on planet Earth. Any question, honey?
One more. You have 5 minutes. Diane says, when we have met our soulmate in this life, do we continue to find each other in future lifetimes?
Oh, thank you, Diane. Soulmate is, yeah, I'll do a webinar on soulmate, but soulmate are fascinating. First of all, in a nutshell, soulmate, which what us women think, or some of us used to think, or whatever, someone, intimate lover, come on a white horse and a rose and gonna spend my life with me. No, soulmates are significant soul that belong to your soul group, because essentially we grow in the spirit world in clusters or group between 8 to about 15, 20 soul groups. And that's how we grow. Each soul help one another. Some incarnate in planet Earth, while the other soulmate from the soul group remained in the spirit world to help us from there. That does not mean that we are not in touch with the other groups. The opposite. We are all one in the spirit world. We love and connected to all souls, of course, but we grow as soul group. So sometimes, usually what I channel over the years, that's very rare that all the group would incarnate together, because it's such a harsh planet to incarnate into. Some of the soulmate, our soulmate, remain in the spirit world and help us for there. So to answer your question, sometimes we will repeat life with a soulmate. It's common. I know that it just happened that Clayton and I often come to planet Earth together with different form, husband and wife, cousin, friends, and sometimes not he, his soul remained there and I'm here. So again, sometimes we repeat, together, and sometimes we don't. So just so you know. I also don't want you to be fixated about, oh my God, who's my soulmate? It doesn't matter. All the significant people in your life right now is designed by your soul. You didn't just happen to born to those parents or that childhood or those siblings, or you didn't just happen to have those kids. It's all designed and very, very calculated as it's come to everyone growth. As souls, there is no one growth, there is always two. Is it going to disconnect me, honey, once? No, but
You
it's...
have to shut it.
got it. But it won't sorry, guys.
Never try it.
Okay. I want to make sure that it won't, we never tried this software, and I'm not sure it's after an hour I'm going to be off right away, or not. But anyway, we have 2 minutes. So I hope you got the information. I hope the information helped you. I am so sorry I wasn't able to reach out to more people. Shoot me an email, feedbacks if I talk too much. If certain things that you didn't understand, I get bombarded with emails, so sometimes it takes me some time to reply, but I know I try to kind of squeeze everything in one webinar. And I want to thank you, because I know you guys are busy, some of you in the East Coast, and it's 9 p.m. So I greatly appreciate you coming to the webinar. Please learn. Do not discount it, even if it's far-fetched, certainly even if it's difficult. Do the work and look at it as a spiritual class. It is a spiritual class. The information comes directly from spirits. That's what I do. I channel information. My job is to be a messenger of spirits, obviously, and they're not always talk just about reading. For those of you who know me, even in reading, I try to squeeze teaching a little bit here and there. So make the best out of it. So I thank you very much. I wish I can see you as well, especially some of you lovely people over the phone that I don't know how you look, but hug and a kiss to you all, and thank you so much. Bye. Take care, guys. Bye.